Well, this is Abraham Lincoln. Just a moment.
Okay.
Oh, well, you know, the one thing I dread more than anything happened yesterday.
What?
Or day before, or whenever it was.
What was it?
Oh, on that paper that my name.
My little card?
My card.
My card,
yeah.
I'm holding it right here, and it's got Abe Lincoln on there.
Well,
and I'm just thrilled.
That I don't like that abbreviation.
But
my
you know
name was
what?
Abraham, not Abe.
I know that, but you know, everybody loves you, Abe. You know, they love to say that because you were one of the people. You know?
Well, I sure was. I wasn't anything but one of the people. I wasn't.
Well, you thought you were one of the people, and we thought you were one of the gods. You know.
Well, you know what? I had a lot of. That man said a word that was good intentions. My intentions was to a long time ago to. You know what a suffragette is?
Yes.
I was one of the first ones because way back there I wanted to give women the right to vote. I said, well, they're nothing but people.
Yep.
They're not anything less than people, and they're not anything more than people.
Oh my God.
So that was met with a furor of rage, and I said, well, okay. I kept it in my heart and in my mind, but I said, I guess that's not going to be. But I did some other things, other things that caused a furor that with the colored people. I did that, giving them their freedom.
Yes.
Because that was just the way things needed to be.
That's right.
That's just the way they needed to be, not had to be, but needed to be. It could have went on for another 100 or 200 years the same way, but what would have happened? It would have been a war. That would have been a war.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that was, I said, Abraham, don't be a fool. I went ahead and to the consternation of a lot of other people, I said, "This is it. This is the last day of this horrible consequence." Well, I see that people are still hanging on to it, whether they be the colored people or the white people. They're still hanging on to that day or the day before, and you say, "Oh." How awful it is. Well, hell, they're not slaves anymore. They got the same possibility, the same freedom as everybody else, but they hang on to that hurt. And then there's some other white men or women. They hang on to that time too.
They do.
Oh, yes, they do. They say, they're nothing but. Well, they call them some bad things, but colored people. But anyway, or Negroes. But anyway, it's just, you know what? The lesson from that is you have to let go of things. You have to let go of yesterday and cleave tightly to today. Because it, for sure it's going to be different tomorrow, no matter how it is today. It's going to be different tomorrow. So I always said cleave to today. I brought some people in there when my boy died. I brought some people into the White House for seances because we were so wanting to hear from him.
Oh, just like I do. Just like I want to talk to you.
We wanted to know that he was all right because he just left us. He just died, and so I didn't have any kind of church that I was associated with. So it didn't bother me one bit. I didn't say, "Oh, but what would the pastor or my time, we'd say to the preacher,
Yeah.
what will he say? Well, I didn't care about that because I didn't go to church.
That's right. I understand.
And,
I understand.
yeah, so it just worked out to a T because we heard from him, we heard from our boy, and he assured us that he was fine. And he had a lot of other things to say to us. And then beyond that, there were other people that had things to say to us. There was, different issues that really, you might say, changed the course of history.
Well, of course it did.
Yeah, so I didn't have, I wasn't a fool. If I had gone to school, I probably could have run the world. But I didn't go to school much. And I practiced. Odd thing is, I see people nowadays, they go to school, grade school and high school, and they just study and prepare and just put themselves up for all kinds of problems because, I want to go to the best law school.
Yeah.
And then they get to law school and, oh my God, they make it so tough. But they finally get through it. You know what I did to practice law?
What?
Didn't go to school a day for it. In Illinois, I practiced law, and by golly, I went up to the Supreme Court. Of course, I lost my bid to the Supreme Court.
Well,
but,
you
but
got
I
there.
went,
The Spirit got you there.
I did, and I always said it wasn't just me. Couldn't have been just me because I didn't have the education. Didn't have but just a few days or weeks or I don't know, months of education. But by God, the time I did have, I made well of.
Absolutely.
If I didn't, I said if I don't get it in this week, I may not go to school next week. Or if I don't get it this month. And I was exactly right because it was cut short. But I got it, and I think I did a pretty good job in the leadership. Now there were people who will say, "Oh, but look what he didn't do."
Oh, no.
You look at that Jesus. And you said, look at all the things that Jesus didn't do too.
That's right.
He was just like me.
I'm sure he had broader visions.
Right. We were both cut short in our life. How strange things can turn out.
Well,
I had invited Ulysses S. Grant to come to the theater with us that night. And at the very last minute, he turned it down. He had not feeling good, or I don't know what excuse he gave, but he didn't come. So, I don't know. It would have changed things a lot probably if he'd been there, but I don't know. Maybe it would have killed him instead.
Well, I'm sure.
But anyway, he didn't show up, and the next day I didn't show up either. I was checked into somewhere else. I was checked into where I am now.
Well, you had done such an incredible thing for the world, and
sometimes I think that some of us are meant to do that one job for the world, and when it's done, we're finished. It's time to go on to something else. Now I know that in here, and I'm talking about in the spirit.
Yes.
I've got a pretty good responsibility.
Yes.
So I I just believe that I had that one thing to give to the world, or I had a few things to give, but I had one especially, and that was the rumblings of freedom.
Absolutely.
You know, how can anybody talk about freedom?
Yes.
If you're not white and if you're not a man, how can you talk about freedom? Well, I had read plenty of history, way back history, and I knew that things were different way back when. And I said, and look how it ran then. Like in Rome, for example.
Yes.
Oh, they had all kinds of freedom, and look at what they had.
Right.
I got to go there once, and I said, my God, what a marvel this is.
Yes.
You know, they know how to do things without disturbing anything else. They had all those water fountains,
Oh, it was
and they
beautiful.
had water that just run naturally to supply those fountains.
Uh-huh.
Up from the water, up from the mountain top, or the hills, I guess,
Yeah,
is where it
yeah.
come in.
The
But
Parthenon and all.
yes, all that. It's just, it was just breathtaking. And I said, now look at these people, what they accomplished. And they didn't have talks about war, about keeping people down, keeping women quiet, and keeping them
Right.
without a voice, either an actual voice or because now I'll tell you, women it used to be with women. It was like the best thing you can do is to be quiet. Don't give your opinion unless, even if somebody asks you, you just refer to your husband. Well, if I had said that one time to my wife, it would have been, well, you know how it would have been. It would have been awful.
She
She
was
said-
something else in her own right. She
Oh.
spoke French, and I mean, she was incredible for a Kentucky girl, wasn't she?
She was a good woman, and she was incredible.
Yes.
She carried on.
Yes. Yes.
So I was lucky. I don't know if it was luck, but
Well, the world
I
was
would-
lucky.
Yeah, well, thank you. But I sure had opportunities that nobody else could have imagined for an ignorant, because I was ignorant, or at least uneducated Kentucky boy. Why, if I had been from Missouri, it would have been the same. I just ill prepared to do so many things that
But
I
you
did.
You were a perfect channel for spirit to get it done.
I believe so. I believe so. Well, Betty, you keep it up. You done a good job. I watch out. I watch over, I guess I'd
Well,
say,
I'm gonna
because
keep talking to you, so I hope you don't get too bored. So.
no, I wouldn't get bored. God, no.
No, I mean with me talking to you.
No, I wouldn't.
All
I just,
of you guys, you know, you're my, all of you, you're my peace, you know,
role models, I believe that's what it is.
You know?
You can pattern yourself after a little bit after what I was able to accomplish, a little bit after that. I don't remember his name. Something Arafat.
Yes.
And
yeah.
also Sadat, Anwar Sadat,
Yes.
and Yasser. It's his name, Yasser.
Yeah, Yasser Arafat.
Yasser
Yes.
Arafat.
Yeah.
So you can give yourself a little pinch of each one of us, and you can
Oh,
make yourself a whole different person.
You're a peace council. You know, that's what you do. You try to inspire. You inspired me. You inspire people. Well, if they could do this, well, why can't we now?
Oh, of course. If I could if I could not having a lick of education to speak of, if I could do that, if I can accomplish that, and not just strong arm it,
Right.
but I just did it. I said, well, this is the thing to do, and people didn't question it, because I had thought it through. I had some advice, which I mostly didn't follow, but I had all those things, so I said, this is what it's got to be.
Well,
And they said, Mr. President, you're right.
you gave you incredible men for the time. If they could do it, if you could do it then, my prayer is, why can't we do it now? Where are the honorable men besides Jimmy Carter, who is, have a vision for peace?
Well, yes, I know who he is. They question him even.
Oh, absolutely.
They question him. They say, and you know what they question? They question his party.
Yes.
People stood behind me. It didn't matter if they were Republicans, or if they were Democrats,
Right.
or if they were women.
Right.
They stood behind me. And so it was with others that came after me.
Right.
And then that fellow that was a stage actor, from that point on, it's always been, are you an elephant or a donkey?
Uh-huh. Oh, yes, and healthy, true. True.
Are you a Republican or Democrat?
Yeah.
Oh, if you say,
Yeah.
I'm Libertarian, oh, that doesn't matter. Are you a Republican or Democrat? Are you with us or not? Are you against
Yeah.
us? So that in itself sets the whole stage for a war
Yes.
war of words, a war
Absolutely.
of votes.
Absolutely.
Yes, a war of I'm going to block whatever you do.
Yes.
I'm going to make it impossible for you to function.
Right.
And that makes the whole country not function.
Right.
It just doesn't function.
Right.
That's all it is. It goes from day to day. It doesn't function. There's no vision. There's no vision for peace, but there's no vision for the country.
No.
It's just the vision they have is, how will we win? How will we win the election?
Well, my heart hurts now for Jordan, who finally admitted and had to go into, into battle. But that breaks my heart, because I know they did not want to do that.
No, you know what? I was a peace-loving man, but if somebody kept picking at me, well, I was this is not something you know, but I was scheduled to go into a duel.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Yes, I was scheduled to go into, because I said, I can't just be pushed and pushed and pushed and never stand up for what I believe and for my family. Well, the other fellow backed down.
Well, I think God made him do that.
Well, I think so. Of course, if he hadn't, I might have been dead a long time before I was. But anyway, that's all the little pieces of me that some are well known and some are not known at all.
No, I didn't know that one. Well, I'm looking for the next time that we can do this. But in the meantime, I'll be talking your ear off. So.
Well, I got pretty big ears, so I can handle it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Oh, yes. I was a big man. I had I believe I had about if I remember it right, this doesn't have a thing to do with peace or war, but I had big feet. I had shoes that was size 14.
I think I read that somewhere.
Oh, well, that was before, that was before they had uniform sizing, of course. I was, in today, I think I'd probably be about no more than 12 or 13. Okay, well, I'm going to go. I've been relegated in the past to just having some little mousy voice to say peace to all and freedom to the colored people, and that was about all I could be a part of. But I've got a voice today.
Well, I am so grateful that I have it here on tape to share with the world, to share with the people.
Yes, if the ones that listen.
Well, yes, and let them know that in the higher consciousness, in the higher realms of spirit, people are working on peace.
Yeah, thank you for that, because you mentioned Abraham Lincoln. People say, "Oh yeah, he was the president." In the past, they don't have any notion of what they're doing right now.
Absolutely, and we know that peace is going to start. It comes from just realizing and working with the spirit world. And like Jesus said, ask and it'll be given. Well, that's what I do.
Of course, asking you shall receive.
That's right.
Well, that's exactly right. I always said that when I was leading the country. I said I need some leadership. I need somebody to help me, and I didn't need some Republican or Democrat to help me. I said, God, I need help.
Yeah.
And you know what? I always got it.
Well, I feel like I'm living a fairy tale world, and I just want everybody else to, We don't need to be so narrow-minded.
Of course, the narrow-minded, and so I don't know what they called out of the word, but people that are always expecting the worst to happen.
Yes, it's
pessimistic. It's just going to happen. No need to talk any other way. It's going to happen. We may as well just pick up our guns and march right on into the army or the war.
To war.
Yeah, get your gun. Everybody needs a gun at home, just in case. Just in case somebody looks funny, comes along, just shoot them. That's what you need to do. That's what people are saying. Get a gun. Get a gun. We all need a gun. I beg to differ from that. We don't need a gun.
Right.
I'm telling you again about those societies that was before, a long time ago. They didn't have guns, and they seemed to function very well.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, God bless you. And
yeah, you too.
You've blessed the world, so thank you is all I can say.
You're welcome. Thank you for letting me talk. I've had that in me for a few days, or few years. I've had that in me, and all I could ever have was people say, I think Abraham Lincoln's with me. He freed the slaves. Well, I didn't. That was a little thing it did, but it had so much more about me.
Well, I think what you and I have in common is that we both know that with God everything was possible.
That's exactly right. It's
with
not
God, everything is possible.
It's not to have those advanced rifles and those bombs and
that's right.
And explosions and all that stuff, and who right now it's whoever has the best gun or the best weapons or best what they call it, airplanes. They're going to be the winners. That is to them go the spoils. Well,
right.
I've got some different notion about that.
Oh, thank you so much. God bless you.
And her name, if I think right, is Cora Richmond. Cora Richmond, one of the ones who come to the White House to do seances.
Oh my God! And I've got all of her books. She wrote a lot of books, and I've got them.
Well.
Oh my gosh! Well, and she was a great medium, great medium.
Oh yes.
Oh my gosh! I didn't know that.
Well.
Oh.
See,
wow.
What you say, 2 and 2, adding 2 and 2 together.
Yes.
So, there
well,
we
thank
go.
you for mentioning her, because in the books that I have that she wrote, I don't know, maybe I didn't notice that.
Oh, no, she wouldn't have said that because we had to keep things quiet.
Okay,
God,
okay,
no.
Of course.
Hell,
of course she wouldn't say that.
No, she would have been castigated even more than she was.
Oh my God.
and I would have been ridiculed too. So,
crucified.
Yeah, probably. They'd have to.
Well, thank you again.
Yeah, you too.